Hi, it's Leah, here to tell you about Dr. Anthony Pannozzo. He's a pain specialist located in southern Palm Beach County, so if you are somebody that you know is suffering in pain, Dr. Pannozzo is the one you guys need to call. And make that call today, because living in pain is no way to go through life. Dr. Pannozzo has been in practice now for more than 49 years. He's treated more than 73,000 patients for pain. He's an expert when it comes to diagnosing the pain, and he has had huge turnarounds. In fact, people living with scoliosis, he has had nearly a 100% turnaround. Lumbar pain as well. If you've got lower back pain, if you're suffering with migraines or flat feet pain, maybe pain in your elbows, your neck, your shoulders, Dr. Pannozzo can help you. And the greatest thing is he can help you without drugs, without surgery, and without having to go through weeks and months of rehabilitation. Give him a call today, set up an appointment. It's 561-381-5800. Tune into his show Sundays, 11 to noon. And now, here's this week's edition of the Dr. Pannozzo Sports and Medicine Hour.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Freddy. Good morning, Nutter. Good
Dr. Ihart.
Dr. Ihart. Good morning, my beautiful and talented, what's your name again? Linda. And good morning, Dr. Pannozzo.
Good morning.
Hey, Doc, what do you think about Medicare? Let me start by this. I've got so much information here about what Medicare will cover without a result that gets rid of somebody's pain. For example, migraines. Does Medicare cover migraines with you?
Well, it's just a joint, so they don't like to pay those.
Why?
They have decided at the corporate level, Medicare, that there's too much work done on the spine. And so they question everything you're doing on the spine.
Why?
Because they have bad management. What else can you say? They should be investigating what you do, how your results are, and approve those things, and not go back 50 years ago to an article that they use, and they say, oh, well, this article says so, that's what we go by. Idiots! You can't, medicine does not work that way. It goes in spurts and jolts to improve, because you have to have a brain in there. You got to have a human being that says this works, this does not work.
They have automatons working up there.
You got what?
Automatons.
Robots.
Freddie, let me explain some of these. Let me give you my thesaurus before I leave. So, Doc, let me ask you a stupid question. So people...
Why ask a stupid question?
Well, because I listened to all this. So people
Go ahead, I'm just talking.
You can make fun. That's okay. That's what the show is about. Look at Freddie. So, number one. So somebody comes in with a back injury.
Yes.
Okay, that Medicare won't cover with you, even though you get rid of that problem forever. They'd rather send them to an orthopedic surgeon with the hopes of getting it better, and number two, all the results that happen afterwards with pain. Why is that?
Obamacare came in.
He'll be gone soon, thank God.
Well, we'll see why it should be gone.
Yeah.
Because of what they did with it.
Right.
The Medicare law was passed because they did not judgmental. There's no judgmental things in the law. They paid for everything that you submitted. In other words, the doctors controlled it. But now the doctors are not controlling it because of Obamacare. So they want to question you on whatever you do. And you say, well, you know what? Why don't you guys take care of these people? You know, I'm a physician. I take care of these people. You're just supposed to cover my expenses.
So what happens?
But what they want to do is cover what you do.
They want to tell you what to do.
They want to tell you what you can do, what you can't do. So I'm saying, listen, you guys, you take care of them. You're so that good. You're so smart. You take care of these people.
So what happens to these
Let me have
people?
your names that you wanted these people, and I will give those names out.
Gotcha.
And let them call you and make an appointment with you. You be responsible for them.
So what happens when you have somebody? I know you're a very compassionate doctor, and I've seen
I'm
that.
responsible for whatever I do.
Right.
I guarantee my work.
And
But you can't go to the bureaucracy because they control the cash.
Someone asked me this question at the gym. You guarantee your work.
Yes.
Okay. I have not seen anybody that I have sent over yet. And these are people that trust me because I went to you and I still go to you. And they come back and they say to me, this guy should have 1 million offices. I said, "We're hard enough to keep him in the office he's in because he's old. He's getting decrepit. He's a tired old man. But you know what?
What can I say?
You're still in great shape." But the point I'm trying to make is anyone that goes to you after going to every other doctor looks at me and says, "I don't believe this. I have no pain in my shoulder. I have no pain in my elbow. I walked in. I got a shot. I came back the next day, said I had a pain in someplace else. I walked out. I was fine. I'm exercising now." That girl that had she's on the treadmill now.
With the foot thing.
Heel spur.
Heel spur. Yeah.
And he said, you looked at her body and you said, you want something, and you didn't charge her for it. She said you wouldn't charge because that was part of the thing. And she said, "I've never seen a doctor in my
that's
life."
A guarantee.
Yeah. He said, "I've never seen a doctor do that in my life." And that's why, Freddy, it's amazing. I get that from I sent like 5 people to see him. They all look at me and they say, "I haven't worked this."
Well,
it's amazing.
The people have to wise up because, the insurance is telling them what to do, which is dropping the level of care in the country.
But that's bad for the patient.
It's bad. Well, that's what I'm talking about. It's bad for the patient. You got to speak up. You got to get rid of these this Obamacare business. Medicare was okay, but as soon as Obamacare come by, now they're hitting on the joints. They're hitting on if you're making too much money. They question everything you do. I mean, just give you a hard time. And the doctors don't need that. We need.
Oh, you want to have the time to help people.
We need the time to help people without question. We don't want too many questions about what we do because it's a matter of thinking when the patient's in the room with you. You can't answer a month later what you did with this patient. If they want to question what you do, they ought to have somebody in the office with you.
800.
So you understand it, see? But they won't do that because it's too easy. If I'm logical, it's easy. And they don't want that. They want to question you later by some nameless, faceless bureaucrat. There's no names. They give you a post office box. And it's not right, gang, I'm telling you.
Well, what's not right about it, I mean, with all kidding aside, if you're suffering from this problem with Medicare or insurance, 800-889-0267, call up the doctor now. And if you're in the insurance business, call up the doctor. If you're a doctor, call up, because I know a lot of doctors that are going through the same. It's not only you. A lot of doctors now, Freddie, have that same problem.
Yeah, I thought it was just me.
No, it's not you. No, it's not you. A lot of doctors are having signs on the wall. We do not accept Medicare, Medicaid, or insurance.
Well,
they'll give you all the paperwork and you file with them.
It's not easy to get out of it because they want to make sure that if you're treating someone, you will continue treating them for several months.
For free, basically, because if no one's paying for it.
Well,
right. Well, look at it logically. Obamacare.
Here's basically this is it. They wrote the rules that said if you do 6 shots in the back for diagnostic purposes, they'll pay for all those. Okay? So everybody's doing 6 shots and they're getting paid. I mean, so they're seeing the bills go up and up and up. But the rules were stupid because you don't do 6 shots for diagnosis. If you don't know what to do, you shouldn't do it.
6 shots for diagnosis?
Yeah. I don't do 6 shots for diagnosis. We don't do any shots for diagnosis. We do shots for treatment only. And that's why you lose your pain the same day you walked in, because we know what to do. We know how to diagnose, in other words.
Well, here's a perfect
now,
thing.
Instead of going on that route, they're going on the other route, which is we'll pay for the 6 shots, but we can't pay for those anymore. It's too expensive. Of course it's expensive. It's a waste of time and money.
You get rid of it in 1 shot.
We actually do treatments. We don't do diagnostic with shots.
Well, I'm going to show one thing for you.
And then they do ablation. They burn out nerves because the shots fail. So Medicare pays for that. How stupid are you? You never touch a nerve. You never. I'm beating on somebody's head.
No, but look, today I'm going to give a little English lesson. Okay, I want everyone. Does everyone, Fred, you're a smart guy. Relief and total cure. Do you want to go to pain management, or do you want to go to someone that's going to get rid of the pain? You want someone to manage your pain, because the FDA just approved a drug that people could take for migraines, and it says in most cases, people don't get their migraine back for a year.
In most cases.
In most cases, they don't get it back for a year. Some people get it back in 2 days, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. 62% don't get cured. They
now,
relieve
what's
the pain.
The mechanism of that?
They weren't diagnosed to find out where the pain was, the cause.
How does this drug treat that?
Yeah, they don't tell you how it treats it.
because they don't know.
No.
See, that's why it's a failure.
Yeah.
It's going to fail right now. Don't tell me it comes back in 6 months. That's a lot of baloney.
You're right, because it says cost is determined by clinical trials.
Oh, you see, when you come to my office and you have a migraine or you have vertigo, there is no way to test that. You're the only one that knows. The patient is the only one that knows. When I do my thing, I just sit there and we wait the 2-3 minutes.
And it doesn't come back.
And they say, my headache is gone. They know, and that's how you prove these things.
And do they ever come back, Doc?
No.
No. Actually, once in a while you get the other side because there's two sides of that issue.
Well,
So,
but
now, most of the time it's 100% it works. And ringing.
Oh yeah, I was going to talk about the ringing in the ear.
Ringing. I mean, that sound there.
That's because the crystals are.
No crystals.
I hear ringing. I
Sorry.
told my wife answer the damn phone.
Turn the crystal into
Anyway, the approach works on those.
But look, I saw this guy. I came in to talk to him about something. I saw this guy must have been about 6'5", looked like he could bend you and I with his two fingers, with ringing in the ear. He comes back out, and this is what he said. I don't feel it anymore. I've been ringing all day. I don't hear. I saw him the next day. He said, "Doc, I got something. I said, yeah, you got to take care of, which is totally had nothing to do with the ringing of the ear." I mean, when you see this, I mean, people think that we're crazy. I'm actually watching this guy saying, "Oh, the ringing is gone." How do you now? Here's the thing. How, when all these neurologists can't figure out how to get rid of ringing in the ear?
They don't treat the neck. That's it. And they don't examine for the neck. That's
Right.
that's the answer. They don't. Their literature is completely wrong.
Right.
And that's what they go by yet.
But is there crystals in the ear that can?
No, there's no crystals
Yeah,
in the
I never
ear.
thut. Where would they be? When
They're not.
Because the
It's not a
doctor, when he
crystal,
cleans out your ears,
no,
is like,
it's a joint. It's not has nothing to do with the ear.
well, Doc, everything that you have
Now you
said.
got to remember when the doctors treat you, and it doesn't work, they have a wrong diagnosis.
Mhm.
You have to face the fact that not all doctors know what they're doing. I don't know what I'm doing in heart disease. I mean, I don't treat heart disease. But
Damn it! You can cure me of that too.
yeah, I'd be pretty good at it if I spent my time.
Well, if you're my urologist, you could really help me. But go ahead.
But so that's the answer. Unless you are getting cured in 1 or 2 days or a week, then that's probably the wrong approach.
We have a lot of visiting your website, a lot of impressions of people that hear you, look at you, want to know what you're doing. Someone comes in and they say, "Doc, I have ringing of the ears." What do you do? Take me through the steps of what you do with this patient. He comes in, a new patient. He says, "I have terrible ringing in my ears. I heard you fix it." What do you do?
Well, we take an X-ray of the neck to
Right.
find out how I'm going to approach that. And there's a primary and a secondary. You decide that right then and there, and take care of it.
Right.
And 2 minutes later, you ask, "Is it gone or not?" And it's usually gone.
And now here's what a lot of people don't understand.
Doesn't come back.
It doesn't come back.
No.
So now, Botox now is doing a new thing now. The new commercial is you take one Botox shot, which is a lot of shots. They put it in the head, they put it in the neck, they put it in every. We know someone that was rushed to the hospital. She couldn't open her mouth because of that, which is kind of good because if you knew the girl, you'd understand why. But anyhow, every 4 months you got to get a Botox shot. Okay, it just relieves the pain. It never gets rid of
It
the
doesn't
pain.
actually relieve it because it's the Botox is aimed at muscles.
You know, you were right because that girl that came in said it didn't really relieve her pain. She still had a mild. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And it's not muscles that do it; it's ligaments. So the tissue to treat is wrong. Remember, if you're right, I mean, you know it right away. Medicine is not a big thing; it's very scientific.
Yeah.
If you're right, you get it right now. If you're wrong, you don't get improved, and that's the Botox. So I wouldn't spend a dime on Botox.
Well, the good thing about Botox is they're getting rid of a lot of snakes in the country. They're getting rid of that. They take their venom.
Well, they're taking the venom, and then they can't fight off the human.
People, do you understand what you're putting in your body when you take? Well, you're taking snake venom.
What kind of snake is it?
I think it's a crepitus snake.
What?
Crepitus snake. It comes from a longer line of snakes. You ever see that snake where they blow the food that comes up? That's the snake.
At school, we actually saw how they do that. They take the snake and open up the mouth like that and put it on a glass plate. the teeth.
Oh, the fangs
The
come
rubber.
out.
And the fangs, and the stuff comes right out, like that.
You were bit by a snake once, weren't you?
No.
Okay. So now, let me do this.
You know, I've had such an education at Ohio State when I was there, a student there. I'm telling you, the stuff comes back all the time. We had a fantastic residency program there. And so what we do now is based on the good science of that era, and it works. So we have anatomy, physiology, and treatment. And if you can locate the problem, you can take care of it by shot or exercise or whatever you got to do, and you have a result right now. Otherwise, you're wrong. And that's what I use as a criteria. If I'm right, you're going to lose that pain the same day you come in that office. And once in a while, we have a problem because I missed it maybe a little bit. So we just have them wait, take them right back in,
No charge, folks.
and fix it. Yeah, so we fix it. There's no question about that. If you're paying for it, we're fixing it.
Yeah. And you know what I always say to people, if insurance doesn't cover it, let me tell you something.
Who cares about them? They're not.
Doesn't really matter. What you would pay, if you come in and you find out how much it's going to cost to get cured by Dr. Pannozzo, you're going to look and say, I can't get a better deal than that even if I went to Costco.
No,
you should go to Costco, get 6 injections they have to get. You're a multi-millionaire. Am I right? Because you can't buy just one of anything in Costco.
6 shots of what?
Because at Costco, everything's got to be in bulk. They're going to be they're selling now, you know Costco now is selling caskets? Yeah, but you have to buy 6 at a time. They just want to get the discount.
Cask 6 at a time.
No, I thought that was good.
I thought that was a great joke. Yeah,
Okay.
very good.
Now, here, I got something for you. Because you talk about lower back pain, and okay, look at this. There's a new injection for lower back pain. It's called stem cells. Okay? They guarantee that they'll reduce the pain.
Oh, that's not good enough.
Reduce the pain. Now,
How do they know that?
that's exactly right.
Ah,
Now, ready for this one? Starting at 6,000 to 10,000, it is not covered by insurance. So let me do this. You're going to go in, get stem cells. It also says in a little print here, will cause scar tissue to form. So now, isn't that what you get rid of?
absolutely. You have to get rid of the scar tissue.
There's a reason why I'm talking about this. So now, lower back pain, Medicare is not allowing you to do, or they're not paying for it.
Well, they want to reduce the expenses
Okay.
for treating of the spine, but when you look at it, what's in there? There's a joint
Right.
and a ligament around
Right.
it, and there's an annulus that holds the disc in.
Mm-hmm.
It's a ligament also, and that's it. That's all you have.
So.
Anatomically, the nerves are not affected usually.
Right.
And even if they are, it'll be the product of these two, the annulus and the joint. So if you're in doubt on what to do, look at the anatomy. What could it be? It's not that complicated if you know how to do it. But the literature that they go by does not cover that because it's written by anesthesiologists. That's the inside dope now. The anesthesiologists do not do this kind of work. What they do is blocking epidurals, which don't help anything. And that's really all they do. The sophisticated work that I do, they don't even know about it.
That's the thing, because
Okay, now you take somebody who says, well, why are you doing that? Because it's the thing to do, and we get the result. That's what you have to look at. If you're getting the result right away, now you know it's right. If you're not getting the result, you know it's not right. Okay? So you can argue with that.
well, here's a good thing also, which I tell everybody.
Now, what's the result, though? Let me get this out of the way first.
Go ahead, sir.
The result is range of motion to normal. In other words, if we start treating you and you can't bend forward, and after we treat you in 5 minutes you're bending forward, you got the result. I mean, what does it take? I mean, it's cause and effect.
beauty. I think that's the key thing of what you do, which is so important. Someone goes in for surgery, they risk a lot of things.
No.
They risk, because I know quite a few people, and you're treating one. In fact, I don't know, did you see him Monday?
Yep.
Yeah, he told me. I saw him at the gym. He said, I got to see him Monday because my leg is... But this was a man that had two of the most devastating knee surgeries. Let me explain to you who it was, Doc. The biggest, the best doctors in the world. both of his knees, and he has so much scar tissue.
You know, that makes me wonder, what am I? Some piece of crap somewhere? I mean,
No, wait, what?
those are the best. What am I doing?
No, I'll tell you what you are. You're somebody that has been able to
No, they
prevent people.
They have a lot of publicity because those doctors are asked to speak
Right.
a lot, and the hospital
They need that prestige.
uses them up, and
Yeah.
so they can use their operating rooms. Yeah, it's a combined system for all of these people.
Right.
You know, the hospital and the doctor, they cooperate.
And the nurses
Get
and
that name out there. And so when you say, well, I got to get my knee operated, oh, I heard about this guy from Denver. Baloney. You don't have to do that. There's guys right here in Delray will take care of that if you want an operation. You
well,
don't
not
have
only that is ever since he's seen you. Remember, I know this guy for a year,
Yeah.
and he went from wearing the Tommy Copper on his knee. Now Tommy Copper's come out with a whole new thing. Your whole body could be covered in Tommy Copper. You got Tommy Copper underwear. So now I'm going to get copper on my little thing there, which I don't want. They got Tommy Copper socks. I mean, for pain and it doesn't do it. This guy was telling. I remember a long time ago. I found the guy who's wearing Tommy Copper. I said, "What does it do?" He said, "It gives me a rash." I said, "Why do you wear it?" He says, "My knees hurt." That's why. It took me a year to convince this guy to go see him. And now,
Well, now they have Tommy Copper
Socks.
around the waist.
Yep.
And did you see the commercial on that? This big black guy has
Yeah.
it in the big belly. And
Right,
he
right,
has it on there. And he says, after I put it on, I could see the result. But what was the result? You know, it's bad. You know, it's deceptive advertising. You think you know what the guy's talking about, but you don't.
you have your son on. You want to talk to him today?
Sure.
All right. You sure? Okay. Hey, Dr. P. I got the two P's here. Dr.
Hey, good
Pannozzo
morning,
Jr.
everybody.
and Dr. Pannozzo Sr. How you doing, Paul?
I'm terrific. How are you guys this morning?
Let me ask you a question. Is it as hot
Lovely.
out there as it is out here?
Yes.
It is so freaking hot out here. How's it up there? Down there, whatever? In Arizona?
Oh, it's been a hot summer.
Yeah, they say this has been one of the hottest summers. We haven't gone below 90, right? Yeah, below 90. So we were talking about all these kind of things with your dad about migraines and stem cells and all that other stuff. Did you get a chance to hear the show?
No, I just caught the past little bit about the Tommy Copper.
You're
Copper
supposed to
kit.
listen to the whole show, Paul.
Hey, I'm sleeping. Over a 3-hour difference.
Oh, that's right. So what time is it now? By you?
Oh, it's a little after 8.
Oh, hey, come on. You got kids. You got to be up and be ready for them. So we were
Yeah,
talking
but they're
about...
like college kids. They stay up late and sleep in.
Well, I was talking. I was telling. I'll catch up, and I was talking to your dad about a guy that had 2 major knee surgeries up in Denver, and had more trouble walking on a treadmill, just walking. And I see him at the gym all the time because it took me a year to convince him to go see your dad. Now the guy plays 9 holes of golf every Wednesday, tennis on I think Tuesday he plays tennis, and he's on the treadmill and he lifts weight, and he looks at me and says, "I spent a lot of money for nothing." Until I met you, and he was your dad. He said, and now I think his wife is going to you, Francis, right? Yeah.
You bet.
So I started talking how I first met him. He was wearing Tommy Copper. I asked him, "Yeah, does that work?" He said, "It gives me a rash." So all that stuff that they put on them, it doesn't work. And that's what And to me, they're making billions and billions of dollars, and people believe this stuff.
I don't
Right,
know what,
right.
I don't know much.
Well, I
about-
expect nothing less than that from my dad there. As far as getting people better, that's the expected. It's the usual outcome right there.
I've been waiting. I've been sending people to your father, waiting for someone to say, "Les, this doesn't work." And I've sent young, attractive women. All my women. Did you ever notice all the women I said are kind of cute, aren't they?
I know you seek them out. That's
I'm talking about someone with elbow pain. I'm talking about someone with
ankle,
ankle heel spur.
heel spurs.
And I'm sending another guy. out. He's this big bodybuilder. His dad is a proctologist. And I told him the drug. You know what his father said? "That drug ain't gonna hurt you, man. Are you crazy? That's better." He said, "It's better than half the other crap you take." He said, "It's in out of your system. It's not gonna, and you'll be better." And here's doctors that are understanding that what you're doing is real.
Well, sooner or later they're going to
Yeah,
get it.
but they better do it sooner, Doc. We're not getting older. Freddie is still young. I mean, we got 25 years on Freddie. But the one thing we do have is hair.
Well, Paul, what's new out there?
Paul, wake up! Come on! I know it's only 3 hours.
No, I'm awake. I'm just enjoying the conversation peripherally, and I chime in when I can.
Boy, all you doctors got these big words.
He's educated.
Yeah, he is a smart guy, Paul. Tell me about anything new that you and your dad are working on. I always like to hear when the two of you collaborate because I know you talk all the time.
Yeah, we got to have another subject now. We took care of the migraine and
Vertigo, ringing in the ear, TMJ.
They're all treatable, and TMJ, and I don't know what. We got to get another thing to work on.
Hey, did the insurance company does Medicare bug you also?
No, they don't. Not at this time.
Is that because of the way
Medicare is a federal company, of course, but it's run by regional outfits.
Okay, so it's different there than here.
Yeah, the outfit that runs Florida does not run the one for Arizona. The one for Arizona runs several other states, but not Florida.
You got a bill in Arizona.
The reason he doesn't want to retire in Arizona is because, Doc wants to be the boss. Am I right, Paul?
Pretty much, always has been.
Yeah, and you know what? If he
Thanks,
can't do his thing his way, I know your dad. I know him for 3 years now, and you know what? Sometimes you got to step back and say, the guy really knows what he's talking about.
Eventually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Eventually, you know that. Yeah.
And he's proud of you because we talk about you on our write-up here. Your dad respects you a lot also.
Yeah, he's got so many offices over there, and I if he wasn't a young guy, I don't think he could do it.
So, Paul, you basically do the same thing your dad does. Am I right?
Very similar.
Okay.
Do some things. We do some things differently, but similar approach for sure.
Are you seeing the same success with migraines as your dad does?
Oh, sure. Migraine is, just a referred neck pain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did the research.
Different word. These are different words, but we don't believe in that that as being a separate entity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we go after the high places in the neck, and people do better.
He did the research work on.
There's no way to not do better after you go after the place where the pain begins.
Well,
so when we talk about treating of these entities, you know that we did the research.
Yeah,
you had two specialists working on these.
I know you did up here with the slicing of the brain to find out right at the
Well,
at the
he
college?
does it too.
Wow.
You have two experts
Mm-hmm.
doing the research work on these, and we don't gold plate anything either. It's either there or it isn't, and we accept it or don't accept it and go on to something else. But all these things we talk about that we treat are true. We do that, and we did the research, both of us. And now I'm looking around for another thing to do research on. Let's.
How about male impotency? Could you get a shot for that?
You could put wrap it with that. Copper,
I start taking Viagra,
stuff. Maybe
Doctor.
copper works for that. I don't know.
I don't think they make them that small. I think they do it, Doc.
It's called a drop of copper.
A drop of copper, right? For the life of me, I mean, even before I knew you, a lot of people used to wear those belts around their waist to make them lose weight. Until one doctor said, don't wear them because once you drink a glass of water, all that weight comes back to you. You're just losing sweat. It's the same as a steam room. They used to say, I have aches and pains, and then go into the steam room. It doesn't do anything. The pain comes back.
Yeah, because when you raise your temperature of your body, the ligament structure loses some of its stiffness.
Right.
Okay, that's your pain. So then when you cool down normal temperature, it comes back. I think that's the only explanation there can be.
Well, I think what makes the two of you guys so good at what you do is you actually get rid of the pain and it never comes back. Not one person in my gym that I've sent to you has ever said, quote, this doesn't work. I said, well, go. I'm waiting for somebody to say it doesn't work so I can send it back to you.
It's all based on the diagnosis, and it's all guaranteed. I mean, in other words, when you pay for your treatment, I'll give you whatever it takes to finish the job. I mean,
do you guarantee too, Paul?
I do. Yeah,
50,000 miles or 100,000 miles?
Comes from somewhere.
Yeah, when you guarantee something like that, you rarely have to act on it.
Yeah.
Rarely do you have to act on it.
And I don't know
Keeps you sharp, in other words.
I don't know if any doctor, maybe you know Freddie, or Linda, you've always been in the medical field. Does anyone here know any doctor that could guarantee knee surgery or back surgery or ankle surgery or any of those have said, I guarantee you guys, you'll never come back again. Well, the reason they can't, because they can't walk anymore. But I mean, the bottom line is, no other doctor that I've ever met has ever said, I guarantee.
Correct.
Okay, so you guys and here's the beauty of it, folks. It can't hurt you no matter what. Either some of them fix you, or they don't.
There's no downside to
No.
it. Yeah.
Well, I guarantee that I can make a pain better. Now, if there is an end-stage joint, I can make the pain better for a bit.
Well,
But
we're talking about the
what I
usual
guarantee.
thing.
I mean, sometimes things are beyond medical treatment. I mean, that's just the fact of the matter.
Well, that's rarely the case.
Mm-hmm. Well, when you do a migraine like
But see how honest he is. He's telling you.
you guys are both honest. That's why you've been in business so long, and you never had anyone call up to hey, look. Again, I'm going to give out the number. If anyone wants to call, I've got both doctors on the phone now. 800-889-0267. If you're a doctor and you want to challenge these two men, they'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you.
Let's go.
So 800-889-0267. I got Dr. Anthony Pannozzo here. I got Dr. Paul Pannozzo here. They are experts in getting rid of pain.
You have a story that you want to share with us from Atlanta?
Oh, yeah. Tell that story. I don't know if you shared that with your son yet.
An elderly guy brought his wife in. They traveled 12 hours by car.
That's what it takes.
And she walked in there with a bad knee, and she had a bad hip with it. And I took care of both of those, and she had other problems, a diabetic too. And I said to her when she was walking out, I said, was it worth the trip? She said, absolutely it was.
And she came in she heard the show up in Atlanta.
She heard the show in Atlanta,
Well, this is a message. This show will be playing in Atlanta as well. And you have to come down to Florida. 561-381-5800.
Wow.
So what we're talking about is real. I mean, we do produce.
That's right. So it's worth the trip. And there's a question that came in on the wire, and they made an interesting observation, Doc. The amount of money you save surgery, I don't care where you are in the United States. Let's say you're going to have a hip or whatever replaced. The money you save is enough to get to Florida, see you, get fixed, play golf, have dinner, stay a couple of days,
my God.
and go back, and you still save money.
You're saving tons of money because one day in the hospital, it used to be $14,000. Now it's $25,000. First day in the hospital, $25,000.
Well,
it costs.
let's see. If I'm not mistaken, I was there for 4 days. I think it was $56,000.
Wow.
Yeah, the next days are not expensive.
That was when my pancreas pulled. They had to do had some pain in the pancreas, and they wanted to check us if I have Crohn's disease.
Yeah, and then they bring you back for checkup after checkup.
I gotta
after
go
checkup.
back. I gotta go back again.
And the clock is still ticking.
Yeah.
I mean, that money clock is ticky, 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 ticky. So they're charging you every time you go back to get looked at again and again.
I mean, Paul, I don't know if your dad told you, I had a groin injury. I don't know if you, and he fixed it with 2 shots, and that was almost 2 years already.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And that's amazing. I mean, and you've got multi-million-dollar athletes sitting on a bench with a groin injury, and I just don't understand. I mean, it just
time.
it
All the
boggles my
time.
mind.
We wonder about this all the time.
Oh,
And it's because they have a surgeon at the top, and then everything is delegated to a trainer, and there's a big divide between the two. They need a physician in the middle. That would be a physical medicine and rehabilitation physician should be also on staff. We'll be right there.
I agree.
But not everybody does what we do, Paul. Not in our own
That's
field.
the problem. Hey,
We're in the top of the top.
Well, an aggressive one, perhaps.
yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. I got a call. That someone wants to talk to both of you guys. Hold it. We got a call, Doc, for you and Paul. Hi, Kathleen. How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
We're doing very good. We got Dr. Anthony Pannozzo. That's right here. And we got his son, a Dr. Paul Pannozzo. So we got both of them. So go ahead.
Okay. Hi.
Hi.
I've been hearing a lot, and I'm curious. I missed the beginning of your show. I don't know what kind of doctor you are, but I get migraines at least 4 to 5 days a week sometimes, depending on the weather or depending on what I eat. Can you help me?
Yes.
Where are your headaches?
Thanks for explaining everything, Doc. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead,
Where do you
Paul.
hurt?
I heard my usually most of my migraines are on my left temple at the top of my hairline.
Okay.
And then I get another kind that's across the forehead. But most of the time, if I get a pain there, it's going to be a migraine.
What do
Yes.
you mean by that?
What do I mean? If I'm feeling a little pain at the left temple, and I don't
Okay.
take something right away to catch the migraine, that's where my migraine forms. There on the left side of my head, at the top of my hairline, which is above my eyebrow, going to the hairline, in that area.
Yeah. Why do you call it a migraine?
I don't know if it's a migraine, but I know sometimes I had to go to the hospital because the pain was so bad and I started vomiting.
Right.
So I don't
So-
know if it's a migraine, but I've had a few migraines that were real migraines. But that pain, I don't know what it is, but it could be pretty bad.
Yeah, where are you located?
I'm in Port St. Lucie, Florida.
Oh, well, that's we get a lot of people from there. Just drive on down, make an appointment. We'll go over that.
I'll tell you something,
take care of
Kathleen.
that for you.
I've been with Dr. Pannozzo for quite a few years now, and I've sent people that not only had terrible migraines on both sides of their head, but also had vertigo, and they haven't come back yet. And every time I see them, they buy me a cup of coffee.
Okay, but I don't know his name or his phone number to his office.
I'm gonna give it to you right now.
Somebody can find it.
His name is Dr.
Get a pencil, write it down.
I got it.
Okay, it's Dr. Anthony Pannozzo, Pannozzo. You can call him anytime because he answers his phone. It's 561
Okay.
381
Okay.
5800, and I will personally guarantee that if you have, go ahead,
The address.
16244 Military Trail. You thought you were going to get me on this?
South
Military. You thought you were going to get me on that
Yeah,
white
sure,
guy,
I
didn't you?
tried to.
Hey, Paul, when you're as good as me, man, you can't catch me. And I'll tell you this,
Palm Beach?
Palm
Delray.
Beach.
Delray.
It's in Delray. You're going to take 95 down to Linton. You're going to head west.
Okay, well, I'll get the rest of the information on the computer.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
That'll work.
And I'm going to tell you one thing. You're going to buy me a steak dinner one day because you're going to say to me, "This is you never ever have that pain again, and you don't have to deal with anything else."
Yeah.
That's my
Can you
guarantee.
Can you just spell his last name one more time and I'll buy you a steak dinner?
Okay. Pannozzo.
Got it.
That's Dr. Anthony Pannozzo.
Pannozzo.
Okay, look, we're going to help you. Just call in.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, that's a simple one.
Yeah. Your son is just like you. He asked all those right questions. That's
You bet.
that's what's so
Another
important. What do you want?
Do you have another one?
Got 10.
No, I
That's
got your
son.
son on there.
Oh, okay.
You want me to hang up on him?
No.
Okay.
Don't hang up on me.
No, we're not going to hang up. Hey, I'm the
800.
only one that can do the hanging up right now, buddy, and I enjoy when you're here. Go ahead.
Give out the calling number.
If anyone wants to call again, it's 800-889-0267. I have both Dr. Pannozzos on, and these are not chiropractors, folks. These are graduates of prestigious colleges. They are doctors. They went
Ohio
through
State.
everything. Paul, where'd you go?
Ohio State.
Both
My
Ohio
undergraduate?
State. Wow. And I know you interned in Pittsburgh, correct? Pennsylvania.
Philadelphia.
And Paul, you interned where?
Columbus.
So I'm talking about two very prestigious doctors here, ladies and gentlemen. I think we have somebody else calling in now. Looks like Joseph. I got to
You
make
gotta
sure.
give him a chance.
I gotta give my guy a chance to write it down. and-
800-889-0267. We want to hear from you. Talk
Yes.
to the doctors.
Okay, here we go. Yes, sir. You're on with the two doctors, Dr. Anthony Pannozzo and Dr. Paul Pannozzo. What seems to be your problem?
Hey, I'm on my way to work right now, guys. I listen to your show. I've been having a couple problems with my heart recently. To my knowledge, I think I'm anemic, but this is just me saying that. Every time I go to bed, my heart skips a beat. I feel like not enough blood's going through my body. It's really weird. I'm having a very hard time sleeping at night. The daytime, it's okay, but I still feel a little chest pain on my heart area. I'm just wondering if that's like anemic.
Well, it's easy to find out. You have a family doctor. Just get a blood test.
that's a simple way of doing it. Get a blood test.
Yeah, you got to get examined and get a blood test. I mean, take yourself seriously. I mean, you have a body that has to earn to take care of your family. You can't earn if you're sick. So go to the doctor, get examined before it gets too bad. Find out what it is. They can tell you immediately if you're anemic.
And it's been like this for 2 months.
Yeah, well, get it done and take it easy for yourself.
It sounds to me like AFib.
Yeah, who knows?
Well,
It could be
whatever,
You gotta take a blood test first, what
Whatever
Dr.
it
Mendoza
is,
said.
let him go to your doctor and get checked out.
Right.
And if there's something in the system that
Yeah,
you
we
need
don't
help
do
with,
this. We don't do this
that
kind of work.
Yeah.
See, we do.
Oh, we got another one. I'm
All
sorry.
right. All right. Thank you
sir.
for calling in.
Thank you. Okay, we got Kirk from Coral Springs.
Kirk, how you doing? You're on the air.
Hey, Kirk.
Hello.
Hello? Kirk? Are you there?
We lost him.
I'm still on. Kirk, you here? Kirk?
800-889-0267.
Kirk?
Call us back.
Call us
I'm
back.
here. I didn't go anywhere.
Oh,
I've been here.
no, I'm waiting for Kirk. He's on the other end, and he wants to talk to both you guys. But
Go ahead.
Kirk, are you there?
All right, stop hitting that button. You look like a maniac.
Well, I might have him now. Kirk?
No,
Okay, Kirk, if you want to call back, it's 800-889-0267. Sometimes if you're in a bad cellar, we can't get you.
Yeah.
He's
Just
not
call
there,
on
okay.
back. 800-889-0267.
Okay, yeah.
We'll go
And
from
want to let me read some questions so I got both you guys here. Sammy, Doc's going like this, that's what I know. Sammy from New York City writes, I heard your show last week. You described an illness on a Mets pitcher as being part of scoliosis.
Yep.
I was curious to ask, why do you see it as simple cure to his diagnosis and the team's doctors are going to end his career with surgery that might not work?
Because
I looked up this diagnosis to find out a great number of pitchers in the major leagues that get operated do not come back. Have you dealt with this diagnosis before?
Yes, it's a matter. It's a matter of.
Is this what about that thoracic outlet syndrome?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which,
Matt Harvey.
our background is electromyography, and when we think of thoracic outlet syndrome, impingement of the bottom two nerve roots there, it almost does not happen ever. Where they think it is, but it is not. I mean, it's almost it's like a never diagnosis, meaning that you think it is, but it never is.
Yeah,
never
the
that.
surgeons are just going to go wild for this because they see so much work.
Is that
they can
Tommy
do.
John's?
No. This is something
they
new.
cut a rib out.
Yep.
To fix this, but you
Really?
don't have to do that. This is a curvature of the dorsal spine. You have to straighten that out, and all this stuff goes away.
Well, I never heard of that one. Is that
Some-
relatively new?
That's true. No, it's
No,
not.
it's not new. Some of the best pitchers in baseball's careers have ended after this surgery.
Wow.
I don't believe they're going to do this. I just don't believe it.
That rib was the same, hasn't changed since the day he was 16, 17, 18. I don't
That's
know how
right.
old this guy is, but
Right. Wow.
it's all of a sudden not impinging. There's something else there. Taking out the rib, that is not the answer.
But what we're offering is that we have the physiology of how these things occur, and what you're feeling and why you feel it, and then we can correct all that because we have an approach for it, and the surgeons do not. You know, they schedule you for surgery. They walk in with their coat and they lay down on a table. They operate and they're gone and you're gone. And so what happened to you? Nothing. Get worse.
Some of the best pitchers in baseball.
So let me ask you a question, Freddy.
Elbows too. Is
me
that
ask you a
true about
question.
the elbows?
Yep.
Since you
Tommy John.
you were a
Can't
coach
believe
and
it.
also played one of the hardest positions out to me, the hardest position in baseball was a catcher, and then you played that. So let me ask you a question. Is it a rule that they have in the Major League Baseball that they cannot go see somebody else that could cure them and get them back, or do they have to do what that doctor says in order to keep
Well,
their contract?
You got a doctor that's on staff.
Right.
A surgeon from California getting millions.
That
What he-
misdiagnosed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and now the way Dr. Pannozzo presented this, and now Paul is saying, we reached out to an anchor on ESPN to
Yeah, I
try
remember
to
you
get
said,
us
yeah. I know that. Yeah.
in front of Harvey's agent, which is the guy from California. And all we want is a 15-minute conversation with him.
Right.
We're not promising anything. We're just saying, listen to our side, because the system that they use to correct this diagnosis is incorrect.
Right.
It's not correct, right?
And we haven't heard back from them at all. But this is a tragedy just waiting to happen.
So let me ask you a question, both of you. And Paul also. So if Dr. Pannozzo goes and gives him the shot because he finds out where the problem is and the guy is cured, is he going to still lose his career from going outside of the box?
No. The bottom line here is if Pannozzo and his son or the team, whatever he puts together, can fix this, then it's going to change the way this particular diagnosis is looked at.
Yeah.
Just like Tommy John, just like a whole bunch of stuff. Dr. Pannozzo was one of the few guys that I met 2 years ago, that said concussions aren't in the head. And then we talked about the sponge, and he explained and everything that he has hit on.
It's been right.
It's been right. So why wouldn't you listen this time?
I got 5 things here that don't even guarantee it works. They can't even give you a price because they don't know if it works.
Yeah, it's a shame because it's a bureaucracy. It's built in. And
Terrible.
The worst parts are these trainers.
Well, the trainers look and they know no better.
They suck up this surgery bit.
Yes, they do.
And they have no reason to do it. We had
money, Doc.
Paul, this is a tragedy. A 17-year-old girl was supposed to get a baseball scholarship. Her dad.
Oh, you told me this one. Go ahead.
And had an elbow. And she had 3 trainers to tell her, don't take any shots in your elbow.
Trainers. No education in medicine.
These people should just stop it because they have no idea what they're talking about.
It's very sad.
But
it could have been treated with ultrasound, but she emotionally couldn't handle all that.
Right.
So I don't think she really wanted a scholarship.
Well,
her dad called me later and
was
apologized because she didn't want anything done.
Maybe she didn't want to play ball
trainers.
anymore.
And I don't know what happened to her now, but there's no.
Well, what I like about what's going on with this syndrome, Doc, is if they give you a shot, a chance, and it works, it opens up the door to so many other things that you've been talking about for 3 years.
ACL? Well, my favorite.
I mean, ACL. I talked to a doctor.
I must hear that word everywhere. Someone says they got a torn ACL. I said impossible.
I talked to a doctor about the sponge that they're using with stem cell and ACL.
Right,
and then I said to him, but how do you cure the pain? He says, we don't have a cure for that. I said, yes, you do. And he watched your tape. And he watched, and he sat there, and he kept shaking his head, and he says, I can't believe that the medical community does not know more about this guy. Yeah. I mean, the problem I'm having is, why is it that you can publish a paper, and people don't come and just take a look?
Well, because you need standing to publish a paper, right, Paul? I mean, if you're just some guy on an island somewhere, nobody's going to listen to you. They're going to say, well, this guy's crazy.
But you have 70,000 people.
But if you could have somebody that the literature knows, a director of a department, say, in a medical school, now you can get something published if he says so. But just to ordinarily go out and try to do it is very difficult.
Here's one, Paul. This is amazing. The sponge thing, which is called the BEAR, BEAR,
sponge.
Where they put a sponge in instead of doing reconstruction on the ACL.
There's nothing to reconstruct.
That's
why
what
I put the sponge in.
That's why the sponge works.
So wait, hold it. Now, Paul, you ready for this? Hold it. Let me ask you a question, Paul. I want you to answer this too. How much does it? I can't use the word to fix that knee. That person got a knee.
It's one shot. It's 1 shot, 2 days.
And give me like a rough estimate of what you would charge.
Oh, it's cost maybe $200.
How about 11,500? Paul, you ready for this one?
What's the diagnosis, sir?
ACL.
ACL. They put a sponge where the ACL was broken, and they shoot it.
Right, with platelet-rich plasma.
That's right.
Yeah, plasma.
Right.
Yeah, and the thing is called the BEAR, BEAR, and it starts at 11,500 and up.
Yeah. Those guys are just making a lot of money, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. There's no scientific basis for what they're talking about.
No, there's absolutely none right here.
First of all, is there pain fibers in the ACL?
They don't say.
No, there's no pain fibers in the ACL. I would tell you that.
I'll show you the diagram.
I don't care what they say.
I'm sorry, Doc. Doc doesn't care what they say, but you know what? You're right.
I am right, or I wouldn't speak.
11,500 plus.
And the insurance doesn't cover it.
No, doesn't.
I don't have to speak, I speak because I'm right.
I know you're right because I brought a guy that couldn't even walk with 2 knees.
I know.
Well, the amazing thing is that now you don't have to go have the ACL surgery. Supposedly you can have a sponge. And the sponge is news all over the place.
And you got to keep shooting in the sponge.
Yes, you got to go back
periodically.
every 2 days.
There's no rhyme or reason to that.
I understand that.
Absolutely none. Don't do it, people. This is for your education. Do not do that.
Paul, have you ever heard of these people say, "Oh, I went to this doctor. He's the best. He knows me.
Oh,
He's
sure.
telling me I need the surgery." Well, why are you coming to me then if you think he's the best? You don't have to go to surgery with me. You don't have to take meds with me, and you can walk out of here and be able to be active again. There's nothing worse than not being active.
Well,
Right.
that happens. People come in and they get examined, and first thing you know, 2 weeks later they're at the surgeon's office. So what happened? Why didn't you come back? I mean, we're not miracle guys. This is hard work. You just can't put reasoning to this.
That's what my problem is.
There is
and
no
people
surgery necessary on the knee. I will make that blanket statement.
You agree, Paul?
I don't. Some people I
Yeah, because he doesn't want to treat
sent
him.
to the surgeon.
Here's my treat the knee.
No, he doesn't want to treat it. So he said, "Yeah, you have a bad knee, go get operated, but I will treat those things."
Hey,
It's good to be young, isn't it, Freddy?
It's funny. I know somebody who went to see Dr. Pannozzo and got cured.
Yeah.
And he had
You?
he had made somebody else, and he had made an appointment with a chiropractor, and because the chiropractor was a friend, he kept the appointment, and then he got really violently ill. He couldn't move his neck. He couldn't do anything. Don't say his name, Doc.
You remember the guy?
He knows who the guy is.
I know. I think I know too.
So he kept the appointment.
I know who it was.
He landed in the hospital. You know that, Doc? He's in the hospital.
Oh, I didn't know he was in the hospital. I remember it.
He was in the hospital, and they did surgery on his legs because they said that was the problem he was having. And he's still in pain. He was on vacation. He'll come back to see you. But the funny thing is that if he didn't go to the chiropractor, he was
Why
fine.
is he that stupid? Well, I know the guy.
Because
He
it was a
does-
friend.
Yeah.
But talking about the chiropractors, the Medicare will pay for chiropractors.
Yes, absolutely.
But if you give a diagnosis like an annulus sprain, L4-5 right, say that's a diagnosis. They don't know what to do with that. It's
They don't know the code.
It's beyond what they could do. I treat chiropractors.
I know. I was in the office. I said,
They
"What do
come
you
in
do
the
for?"
office and we treat them there, and we discuss these things and on a man-to-man basis, and they're right. They said we don't have a program for that.
I know because
I know.
I was there with the guy. I said, "What the guy?" I said, "What do you do for a living?" He said, "I'm a chiropractor," and he said, "I have no way of doing what he does." And he was an honest guy. He said, and I always say, how could you, by manipulation, you don't know where the pain is. You got to get to the source of the pain.
They're just stretching a joint and
Yeah.
hope it works, and it doesn't, because a lot of times it's not the joint, it's the annulus. So we discussed that. There's only two things in the back that you could treat, the annulus and the joint. That's it. Nerves are hardly ever involved.
Pannozzo University. Welcome all the chiropractors.
The University of Pannozzo.
University of Pannozzo.
No,
Pannozzo
they
University.
can't. They can't really do it. Even if you teach them how, they can't do it.
No.
Well, let me tell you something, Doc. If word gets out, they're not gonna get it. They're not gonna have a job because the bottom line is what they do.
They got there's a big group of them.
Yeah.
That hold
Yeah,
the,
they have political
political
power,
clout.
and the therapists have the political power also. That's why they're in these plans. So they don't want the physicians to treat them; they want the technicians to treat them, and the insurance companies lose money because these people are going to surgery eventually. See? If they come to us, they don't go to any surgery at all. We treat it.
Hey, let me tell you something, guys. The one thing you don't want to go in, you don't want to go into the hospital. You don't want to go for surgery. I know 5 people that have gone in for surgeries that are in more pain now. In fact, I told you a story about the one person I know. He went to the doctor. He said, "Let me give you somebody else that might be able to help you."
What about the ones that have the policies that have a huge deductible?
Oh, $5,000. That was.
I mean, a surgery on a knee is going to cost you $7,000, and we could do it for $200.
Well, the girl that came into you,
I
she had a
don't
high,
know what else to say to you.
she had this high deductible. She just paid it out of her pocket.
Yeah.
Of course, it's hard to get rid of. It's hard to get up to that 5 or 10,000. That's the fault of Obamacare. People are buying insurance with these huge deductibles that they'll never use.
That's
Well, listen,
Obamacare.
there are
That's all
people.
that's available.
Yeah, I know. You're 100% right.
There are people that will spend $120,000 for a sports car. When you can buy you can buy a car for $8,000.
Correct.
So if you want to get from A to B, and you want to go in, luxury and style and spend more money needlessly, they're going to do it. Now, there are surgeries that are necessary. We're not saying that put an end to all surgery. But on what
I've
Dr.
seen this
Pannozzo
man,
covers,
Freddie, say to a person, I don't say anything wrong. He says, could you give me a shot? And he said,
I'm saying we put an end to all those surgeries on the extremities, the feet
Yes.
especially,
yeah.
and the knees and the hips. You don't need to operate those.
You don't take care of heart surgery. You're not a heart surgeon.
No.
No.
You're not a urologist. You take care of what pain. Let me tell you, I don't care what anyone says.
Well, you know what's the difference is that most of the diagnosis is made by MRI.
And don't work.
And I don't even order MRIs. Everybody's got an MRI when they come in my office. That's a failure. So I don't order
we
those.
don't need
We don't
an
need
MRI.
it. And then
But Doc, I want to
we
take
examine.
MRIs.
We know how to examine, and that's the key to our success. You must have a source.
Doc, can I get an MRI machine in your office and just charge all day? Well, you're not going to use it anyway. But I can charge. How much is an MRI?
I think the MRI. Well, I did one.
No, we got to do that.
Well, I did an MRI in the pancreas. I mean, that
How
was
much?
the,
How much is an MRI?
I think it was about $3,000.
Really?
Not thousands, hundreds.
I was in the hospital.
Oh,
$600 for an MRI.
Well, you got to pay for the guy that explains to me that you got to.
I'm just saying. I'm gonna
these
open
are
up like a lemonade stand, and I'm gonna do an MRI here.
I guess for what he does, an MRI costs like $300-400.
and you know, you spend all that money, they didn't even give you a copper.
Not only that, is like, well, I went. They gave me a lollipop. It was the most expensive lollipop I ever had.
Harry, we're done.
Well, Paul and Doc, it's
Paul, see ya.
It's that time, Paul. Again, don't be a stranger. Call up and do me a favor. Have a little. Do what your father does. Have a Mountain Dew when you wake up. Have a little coffee with caffeine, so we can get down and start yelling at everybody. Paul, fast. Give out your number, buddy.
623-776-8686.
And Dr. Pannozzo's number is 561-381-5800. Everybody, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Pannozzo, for enlightening our audience and helping them. Nutter, thank you so much for helping us out. Our producer, and Freddie, always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Everyone have a
See
great
ya.
weekend, and God bless our troops and policemen.
Act on the information. That's what it's there for.
This has been the Dr. Pannozzo Sports and Medicine Hour with Dr. Anthony Pannozzo. If you spend 5 minutes with Dr. Pannozzo, you'll see he genuinely enjoys helping others. Visit Dr. Pannozzo online at www.paincentersnationwide.com or call him at 561-381-5800. Dr. Pannozzo will consult with you to determine the best solution to your pain needs. 561-381-5800 is the number to call, even if it's just for a second opinion. Join Dr. Pannozzo next week when he brings you more important information on the physics of weight-bearing and engineer concepts for the body.
1230 WB.